What up, guys? We're outside of our very first landscape appointment. Shout outs to Extreme Creations Pools and Spas.
I wish I was in the boardroom meeting, assuming there's a fucking boardroom, where they're like thinking, what should we be called? Like sentimental creations?
Nah, it feels kind of soft.
Okay. What about like powerful creations?
I think we're getting warmer.
Okay. What about loud creations?
Oh, I don't know. Loud kind of has a bad connotation.
Okay. I got it.
What?
Extreme creation. Sean.
Let's take the E out and start it with the X. Because that's even crazier. It's even more. Wait. We can't say it. It's exterior. That's so funny. We duped ourselves. Why did I think it was extreme?
I know, when I went to go read it, I went to go read it, I was like, my brain was, you know when your brain...
That's what you get for roasting, you son of a bitch.
Dude, that is a stupid name. I'm roasting your ass. Because, like, you know when your brain is locked in on what it... Like the first thought that is truth, right?
Yeah.
So for me, the first truth is it's called extreme.
Yeah.
So I kept trying to make exterior, like I kept trying to read extreme, but I kept reading exterior. My brain was fighting what I was reading, and I think it dawned on both of us at the same time.
You were kidding me. Alright, so the reason why we're here is this week is the phase of our home building process where we're going to plan out and actually see the 3D rendering design of our backyard. So what we're looking for is a place for Taika and his friends to come play, pool and hot tub, and we want it to feel very serene and tranquil. What was the theme we're going for again?
Modern Mediterranean. Don't ask me what that is. It was just what fucking Pinterest calls it, and Pinterest calls the same style a new name, I feel like, every single year. But yeah, if you wanna look up what the inspiration is, it's Modern Mediterranean.
So yeah, we don't know if we're gonna go with exterior creations just yet, because per our agent, she always recommends when you're going to get landscaping or pool or any big project like that done, get 3-4 quotes, because there's a couple of things you want to consider. The first one is obviously design. Can they match your taste? The second really big one is budget. Can they fit your budget? The third one is timeline. So for example, you could have someone that knocks it out of the park and it fits your budget perfectly, but then they go, you know what, we're so busy we can't start until 8 months later. So those are 3 major things that you want to consider, and a lot of times they're a mixture of those 3, which is why it's good to kind of like see the designs, see how much it's going to cost, look at their timeline, and get a vibe of who they are too, so that you can see if you even have the same communication style. Like, we've met with a couple already just in the initial phases, and some guys, bam, show up 15 minutes early, and they're waiting. Some people are like, what was your address again, bro? You know, dude, cause like, I know you texted it to me, but I forgot. So those little things, I'm like, dude, if you can't handle my address, how are you gonna manage an entire pool project, which takes cementing, excavating, planting, grassing, grilling, you know, there's a lot of stuff it's like building a house. Yeah, there's stuff. It's building stuff back out. Building stuff in the backyard, alright?
Yeah, but this is, I don't know can you see my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just like my Pinterest inspo board.
So calming.
Yeah.
I love it.
Of,
yeah. Look at that. Ooh. I like that coconut freaking chair.
The little cocoon?
Yeah. Look how peaceful that looks. That's what we're going for.
Yeah. A white background, like a white, yeah. So,
you guys know what we're going for. You tell me which one of these guys are able to hit it out of the park. Hold on. Alright, so you see that? There's an exterior creations truck. there's two things that I take away from that, because like anytime you're working with anyone new, it's technically an interview, it's technically an audition, right? Like you're trying to like hire someone for your project. So when I see trucks like that, and also trucks like this, they have another Exterior Creations truck, that tells me they're extremely professional, because they have teams and they're probably doing multiple projects at one time. So that makes me feel, okay, cool, like they're gonna hit their timeline, hit their budget, and they're gonna communicate in a very professional way, which I like. The other side of that though, from my experience, is the more professional they are, there is a premium that you have to pay for, especially since they have their own office. Like for our LA house, the guy that we worked with, he was super good, super professional, but he wanted to keep the cost down for all of his clients. So he actually didn't have an office. He just had a mobile office, which is his car. But I trusted him because he did, I think, about 18 other homes in our neighborhood. And I asked all the neighbors and they all said, you know what, this guy's awesome. And he always finishes before the deadline. So getting a reference, like a personal reference, is also super important. So these are just like little things to keep track of, you know, like if you go to a place and they got 4 cars and they're all run down looking, you're like, okay, so if that's how they treat their business, think about how they might treat your pool. All right, so this is what we're trying to get the feeling of the house to look like. This is the inside.
Like that's the energy, the vibe, the pace, the color palette. Our lives are so colorful, so rich, so fast-paced, and rich in terms of stimulus, that when I come home, I want it to be zen, slow, minimalist, tranquil.
Yeah, like we want to get like actual drapes like that.
Yes.
So imagine the backyard matching that. That's on the inside. That's
Yes.
cool. Bro, this place is freaking legit. I have never been to a landscape designer's place like this. So front desk, it's all decked out. Got it on the wall. Hello.
How's it going?
Are you Mike?
Yep.
Bart.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This place is so sick. I have to record it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had just all these samples like on the
yeah,
wall.
yeah. Oh, I'll show you all this.
Wow.
So you
Whoa.
get to pick all this
Oh
stuff.
my. This is so helpful,
Yeah, oh yeah.
because then now you can kind of just visualize like right
Oh, wait till
away.
you see the drawing, Bart. I
Oh,
mean,
I'm excited. I'm so excited. My
gonna
wife
be able to-
is peeing really quick.
This is Franco. This is my co-designer.
He looks like a bodyguard too.
Bart. Yeah. What do you guys
Oh,
see your new bag?
Oh, he asked you if you're ready. Are you ready?
so. Yeah, I hope so. Where are the seatbelts?
See how we did.
That's it. We put you in the desert.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
It's just the sky so far.
How come I can't go up?
They put on fly mode.
Yeah, you know why? Because my keyboard's not well.
All right, Mike, you're fired as a pilot.
Whoa, look at that.
Oh, that looks fun.
That does look fun.
That looks like a
Oh,
fun.
look at that.
On that,
I'm taking you down.
That looks fun.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Look at that
So,
guy. Who's that?
Oh,
That's Bart.
It's coming in.
So here's your doors.
Oh yeah.
So basically,
Oh, that's the view. Oh, nice.
yeah, that's
Oh,
the view
really
from the
cool.
doors.
Yeah.
We raised the spa. We did a couple little spillways at the back.
Oh, that's cool.
Franco's got his grill with a cover
Oh,
over here.
nice.
Very
That's a
cool.
good little grill space.
Yeah.
So looking out that way, and then we did a little raised platform. If you wish to take it that far, a little TV media wall,
Oh, okay. I see that.
and there's a fire pit back there as well.
Whoa, very
So
cool.
if you like that
Wow.
idea,
That's kind of cool. It's like I gotta
good
get
little
away.
sitting area.
Yeah.
Yeah, away if the kids are playing over here.
Yeah.
So some
Look at
artificial
that
turf.
thing.
That thing's gnarly. That's awesome.
You know how you have that dirt hill right there. So we're
Yeah.
gonna remove the dirt. Franco's gonna put a little retaining wall. You can sit there.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
watch
pretty
the
cool.
Kids play.
Oh, very cool.
And did down the side, you know, to kind of mimic the back.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
mess with the front yet, guys. We wanted to talk to you first about the back, but
So, any thoughts on the pool design?
So I don't know how this stuff works, right? Because every time I've seen any type of pool designs, it's always, obviously you have to use your imagination on a lot of it, because the way they make them, it looks very artificial, right? Obviously, right?
Yeah.
Because of the program that they use, it's not very lifelike. So it's like you have to use your imagination to like put in the materials and what it's really gonna look like, so it's not gonna be as animated.
It's like an animated movie versus
that, and then everything always
movie.
looks so square to me. Like it looks like it's literally like I don't know what you call them, the architect of, what do you call them, like the person
landscape architect.
Like he's just working with blocks and he's making things fit in these blocks, right? So it always looks so blah every time I see it. And I've never looked at something and was like really impressed, where I'm like, wow, this takes my breath away. I always feel like it just looks so boring. Like they just do these designs over and over again. So there's no.
How come you didn't tell them like right away? Hey, can we like have it like swirl around or like have a little bit of?
Because I just want to hear their thought process and see things, and then I like hearing your questions and stuff. And I need to sit with it. I need to like see what it is that I like and I don't like, so that I can articulate it.
I see.
You know, so the first round I always look at it and I'm like, cool, let me just marinate on the design, and then I start adding my own notes to it. Right? But it's a tricky, slippery slope, because anytime you have, like, I'm a creative person, so as soon as I start getting creative and I want to get this material and this thing and add, what about this and that, the price starts going up. So I understand why now it starts looking super blocky and basic, because that's like the most economical. So it's like fighting this like artist in me that goes, oh god, I want the little slopey slopes and the papatitatas, you know? And then it's going, but there should also, like, let's stay within our budget. It's like getting a car and then you're like,
so how much does the moonroof cost? And then, that sports trim with the 20-inch wheels. They're like, well, now you're kind of going into the next bracket, and you're like, oh, but I wanted to stay under like 30 grand.
I know. And then when you know all the fucking bells and whistles, you're like, oh god, now I don't want it without the bells and whistles. But then I think it's also just the backyard. Do I want to go that ham? And I'm like, no, I don't. So I have to sit on this design. I have to stare at it, sit with it, and then I'll add my notes to it. Because it doesn't achieve either. I don't know if you gave them, I didn't want to say this in the meeting, but I'm like, did you give them like
your
the modern, the modern Mediterranean? Because I saw none of that in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Like zero modern Mediterranean. Like even the plants, there were like these purple things in there, and I'm like,
Send it to them. Yes, ma'am.
Got it. Okay, because it did not achieve that one bit.
So we're at another landscape appointment. This one is called Green Oasis Pools and Landscape, and I already have a good feeling about these guys, because when we were selling our other house, we didn't have the backyard built yet, right? So it's just all dirt. So our agent came up with a really smart idea. If people go and look at the backyard and all they see is dirt, they're not going to be able to like really feel what the house's potential is. So she hired Green Oasis to do a render, and then we printed it on a big canvas and put it on an easel. So when you walk up to the backyard, you can see or imagine way better what the backyard is going to be. And just with zero creative direction, what they were able to produce was super dope. And then on top of that, I was like, yo, how much would something like that cost? You know, just curious. And the price he told me, I was like, what? That is affordable. So I have good feelings about these guys already going into the meeting, so I can't wait to see what he presents. I like this sign. If you think it's expensive to hire a professional, wait until you hire an amateur. So true. Wow, look at this pool. This looks nice.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
It's a really nice
wall. Yeah, it looks peaceful.
Oh, cool. I was like, oh, that's not our yard. Like, that's interesting. Oh, is that it?
This is it.
Wow. I like the movement in the floor.
That is Roblox.
Wow.
There's a beach on the TV. Did you see that, monkey? Look at that. There's a beach right there.
That is Roblox.
That is pretty.
Do you know what's cool, monkey? You know the Minecraft you play?
Oh yeah.
He does it professionally, but for backyards.
This
Keep doing what
Minecraft.
you're doing.
Yeah.
I actually tell my son, I'm like, hey son, if you get better at this, you know,
Yeah.
I can give you a design and you can put it together and I'll give you a couple bucks.
That's not Minecraft, that's Roblox. This is different.
Oh, this is Roblox. It's a different program.
I don't know what that is.
It's different, and that's not.
Yeah.
So I took a lot of inspiration of what the couple photos that you guys gave me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I took a lot of inspiration from those and then just kind of took some professionalism on
Yep.
what I thought would flow and work and just, I'm flying. You know what we're going to do next? We're going to jump in the pool.
So this is the overview shot from top down.
Yeah.
That is pretty.
That's a little pool.
A little pool.
That's the not little pool. Are you kidding me?
Pretty big.
It's a pretty big pool.
Most nice little. See, there's.
All right, all right.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Okay, no more from you.
What are you talking about? I got your, look at this whole play area for you. Look at all this area
Wow.
here for you to play.
Yeah.
Whoa, super cool.
We got little deck jets here, so you can let them hit you on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
And if the pool too small, you gotta blame it on New Summerlin rules.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
Yeah, yeah.
A grill, a little countertop, access underneath. I like putting fridges out there.
Oh, yeah, I
And then
like
like
fridges,
a two-door
too.
unit that you can put your utensils or something like that in it, so that
Yeah, that's all
you
we
can keep it
need.
stored.
Yeah, just something simple. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And I like that you put like a table or space for, because like he's always saying how it's lonely grilling out there.
Yeah.
You're right.
It is.
He's like, no one's
You're out there all by yourself, right?
And I like that there's a table so like you can hang out with the people that are in the living room,
Right.
which is cool. And it's
Yeah.
covered.
And the other side of that is if we put a table in here,
Yeah.
you don't get the view
Yeah.
when you walk in the door because that table's kind of covering everything. So chairs are a little lower.
I
so
see.
you can see over top of them and see out into the backyard.
The grand
and see the
backyard.
pool.
Yeah.
Out, rather
Yeah.
than backing out into the
like a
street.
3-point turn.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
So this
Yeah.
is our
Because
front
coming
yard.
out-
We're gonna widen the driveway over here like that. Yep, and you can play basketball in the front.
Oh, you want to punch me? Okay, I want to punch you.
Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, that's a way better driveway.
Yeah. Yeah, because because of those curves, pulling into the drive is no big deal, but coming out, you're,
Yeah,
doing one of
yeah.
these,
Yeah, yeah.
where you can literally back out and you're gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So multifunctional on that side of things, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Mama. How do you feel about this landscape appointment?
I really like it. This
Really?
is the first one. So we've talked to a lot of landscapers just
Yeah.
because we moved a lot.
Yeah.
And we did have our
Cali and Nevada.
yes. And they all have like a standard like template that they tend to use, right?
Yeah.
Like the rectangular pool with rectangular steps and like everything is just a box that they just kind of move everywhere.
And
they're
like blue pool tiles.
yeah, and they're like, this is the formula that I use all the time. So with the other landscapers that we've talked to so far, we did give them our mood board and just like our inspiration. And like we said like, oh, we want like movement and layers and different things. And it just felt like it was either outside of their scope of creativity
Yeah.
or they're just like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. This will look better with this house. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you just did what you wanted to do. Not really taking into account any of the, design elements that we want. Whereas this guy literally repeated everything we wanted back to him, to us. He repeated it back to us. But then with his expertise in terms of like layout and function, and now also like electrical goes here, so then we can put all this here to make it more cost effective. Like he was able to encompass all of that and then pull that in, specifically the design element for us, where like as soon as I saw the concrete, it wasn't just a slab, like a rectangular slab or a square.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
He had it just flowing, and he goes, "Yeah, it's not gonna cost you more." And I always thought that they did the square shaped stuff because
Yeah.
it was just
Cheaper.
cheaper. So I just assumed that, and he goes, "No, it's not gonna cost you more." He's like,
It's just in the design.
"Yeah," he's like, "It's just design. Like
It's like
we're
the
just."
materials cost the same.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just designing it. So, and he's like, I'm really excited for this project because I don't really get to get this creative because most people tend to go with just standard.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that, we all have like our geniuses and stuff. Some of us are more creative than others. So the ones that aren't on the creative end and don't want it complicated or busy, they're just like, give me boxes. But with him,
Yeah, there's a reason why a Toyota Camry is the best-selling car of all time.
But with him, he's like, oh man, but I'm creative. Like I
Yeah.
like the flows and the
Yeah.
different elements and stuff. So it was cool to hear him say, like, I'm actually excited to start this one because it's very custom. And I'm like, oh, cool, very cool. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I love just the whole, I look at it and it just flows in my brain and it makes sense. How do you feel about it?
I love it because, like you said, most pools or the pool builders, the designs that they show us are very, like, I don't want to call it cookie cutter because it has a bad connotation, but it's something that's very familiar. I've seen it before, done over and over and over on Zillow, Redfin, everywhere. And so I know you're very creative, and when you showed me the pool that you want, because I'm actually more on the practical end. For me, it's more about function. I'm like, if I can get my lap swims in, if I can go in my hot tub, if I could play with Taika in the backyard, like there's like an open, like multi-use play space. That's all I really care about. So I think the aesthetic and the creativity, I'm leaving all of that up to you.
Yeah.
So I know that is the hard part that we've been trying to hit. Because I think most people are like me, right? Like they're just practical, and so it's a little bit more cookie cutter looking.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find the mood board that you actually sent over, because this really shows how well Ace did with hitting that. So yeah, so this is the mood board that Mama has. So if you look at it, this style is called Modern Mediterranean.
Or so Pinterest likes to call it.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of like white, very neutral, beiges. That's like the texture and the tones. And then, so you saw that like they use a lot of like white decking, like even just, so it has a very like Tulum-y feel, very Santorini feel. See, look, it's just very minimalist. And he nailed it with like the plants and even the planters, like to be able to like, you know, there's a difference when the plant is growing out of the ground versus growing out of a planter. Here's that movement that we saw. The palm trees he put in to make sure it has that tropical feel, the super light blue water. Like you could just tell he really studied these, whereas some of the other designs we saw, it didn't seem like they studied it as much. Yeah, so you see it's like a lot of whites and greens and like low saturated beiges. Yeah, I think he did a really, really good job.
Yep.
So this is what we're trying to hit, and I think so far he hit it the best.
Yep.
Alright guys, we got a few more renderings in, and these backyard renders, you want to view them as if they're like a pitch deck, right? Like when you meet with these landscapers, you tell them your vision, you show them your mood board, you tell them your budget, the functionality and the style that you want, and now it's up to them to design something and to wow you so that they can get your business, right? So they need to do their best. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people always recommend getting at least 3 or 4 bids on any type of remodeling, landscaping, any type of construction job, because you'll start to see where budgets are allocated. Like, okay, cool, I generally see how much a pool costs, and you'll also see the style differences. So after looking at these two, me and Gio are way more leaning towards Ace, because you can tell that he really put his heart into it, and he's really trying to custom tailor what he thinks is the ideal backyard that we want, versus a lot of these other companies, they start to look a little bit more cookie cutter-ish. Nothing against them. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that like these designs, but these start to look like, instead of custom tailoring something to what me and Gio want, this company is already known to produce this type of pool, so they're just gonna move things around little by little. So we'll get into this first one right here. So this is really cool. They listened and they're like, I'm gonna put a grill in because that was something that was important to me. And this is one thing that a lot of, I guess, landscapers would call other landscapers slightly amateurish, when you put the functional part of the backyard way in the back. So it looks nice, right? Like when you're coming out of the sliding door and you just see, ooh, we got a nice grill over there. But when you are actually going to use it from day to day, are you really going to bring all your carne asada, like all that stuff, walk halfway across the backyard? So it doesn't have the functionality, and that's the main thing about design. Like form needs to meet functionality. So coming out, you see that looks nice, but not that functional. And you can tell they just put these grid grid things here because they just want to break up that big concrete space. But this isn't any type of like, oh, cool, unique design that you haven't seen before. You know, this is probably like a template that they're like, oh, too much concrete, let's throw this in, it'll break it up. It is cool that the pool is on this side, where we have like an open wall on this side, so there's a lot of good privacy here. But the problem is they didn't listen to what me and Madre want, which is something we love from our LA house, is being able to sit inside the house and almost see the pool, so it feels like it's our own little pond or our own little lake. So they didn't listen there. They put the turf on one side, so the use of space is cool. I do like it when it's broken up. You know, you can clearly see visually this backyard section is for this section is for that. And we got quite a good amount of turf, which we did tell them that we want a lot of room for Taika and his friends to come play, so that is cool. Here's another angle, and that's the open gate that I was telling you guys about, where this is cool to have a little bit more privacy, but the open gate is also not that big of an issue because we can always put a bunch of plants there and boom, we have our privacy. And this is the last and final picture from this company. This is a top-down bird's eye view. So from a bird's eye view, you know, it's very organized. It's very easy to digest. You got the turf on one side, you got the pool and the hot tub, because I hot tub literally every night for recovery, on one side, and you got this nice little awning. My favorite thing about this rendering is for sure the awning, because if you're out there grilling, man, there's times where I'm grilling, I just get straight up roasted to a crisp because I'm out in the sun. So every person that I've met with, I go, I do want to grill, and please put some shade for me because I don't want to get fried to death. So this is company number, I believe, 4 now. Oh no, 3, sorry. Company number 4. So with their programs, what's really dope is you can request both nighttime and daytime shots, because in addition to plants, when they're doing their landscaping, if they're doing it correct, they're also light sculpting, meaning they're going to put lights in certain areas, so at night when you turn on the lights, your backyard should also have a completely different feel, and that's what kind of like gives it that like polished, like dope landscaping look. So you can see they purposely put lights in certain areas to light trees, have the pool come to life, so that if you ever have a party at night, it's not just dark and dim. So this looks really good. They really followed what we want, which is to put the pool right in the center. So here's a top-down view. Looks pretty cool. I like the shape of the pool. It's very unique looking. It's not just like boom, one like, you know, block of rectangle. Sorry, Joe's texting me. And they also made use of a multi-purpose concrete court, which is what we told them. We told them we want areas for both Taika to play on grass, and also like a little sports court if he wants to ride bicycles, shoot hoops, or a skateboard. And you can see they really flushed it out with a ton of plants here. So that's going to provide a ton of privacy. But most importantly, one of our biggest, like I guess, creative directions for this is we want to be able to go into the backyard and just look lush. Because we felt like the lush, like all the shrubs and stuff against the mountain landscape was going to give it such a nice touch and feel. So that's something they really listened to, which is awesome. That's a daytime shot, and then here's a nighttime shot of how it'd be lit. So it looks really nice. Here's a side shot. It's cool they have water features. Water features are anything that kind of like just moves water, and it gives it that nice like sound. You know, like if you ever walk by a fountain and the water's just splashing, it's very calming. And that's something that we wanted to. Especially like when you're in like a desert environment like Vegas, it's always nice to be able to kind of break up the monotony of a desert, and then kind of create your own like tropical oasis. This is the other shot. See that open gate area, they just lined it up with a ton of trees, palm trees and all that, and privacy is no longer an issue. This is that shot from the inside where you open the glass door and you go straight out, so you can tell there's a huge difference. The other one, you're just seeing grill and awning. This, you come out and boom, it just feels good, like there's water, and even the steam coming off the hot tub is just way more inviting. So if I had to compare these two renders, this one for sure is gonna take my business over the other one. Here's a nighttime shot. where they lit it, so you can kind of envision both night and day. And what's really cool about these programs, they can actually drag and drop the sun too. So sometimes like sun blasting through the window is an issue. Like at our old house, we had huge windows, which is beautiful, but when we're like taking an afternoon nap at 3 p.m., at that specific angle, that sun comes and just blasts me, I congeal in the face. So we realized we had to get those automatic shades and put those on during nap time. So it's always good to kind of understand the functionality of things, because sometimes things could look really good in render, and then in real life you're like, oh damn, I'm getting fried to death in the pool like during noontime. Maybe I should put like an awning or put some trees or something to block it, you know? So here's a nighttime shot again. Nighttime shot from the side. I'm a big fan of the way they like made the pool not just like one big rectangle, like you kind of have a splash zone. So this splash zone is really cool for not just like if you're not trying to fully get wet, you don't want to like really submerge yourself, but also when, you know, people, all of our friends right now, they're at the age of the popping out babies. So they could bring their babies and they could play safely here while the adults are playing here. And if you want people in the hot tub, everyone is kind of congregating together, and you can have a conversation and interact, and also we have the water feature there. So these are our 4 renderings that we got. We met with Not Extreme Creations, Exterior Creations, we met with Ace, and we have these 2. Based on these 4 that we saw, you can tell that 3 of them, like the non-Ace ones, kind of look similar. You know, it has a very like square blue tile type of look, almost even similar to our house back in LA. So that makes me feel it's a little bit more cookie cutter, although it's probably really, really practical, but that's not what we're looking for. So based off our first initial round of meetings, we're probably going to go down the Ace route, and then we'll update you with any more progress on the backyard. And one thing to keep in mind, when you're building these backyards, it could take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. So if you want to time things out well, and this is something that I learned from owning so many forever homes now, is we're starting this process before our house is even finished being built. That way, the minute we close escrow and they hand over the keys is the same day we submit for permits. So it's an extremely seamless relay race, or else if you don't have someone, you know, like walking you guys through this, most people will get, cool, escrow closes, I got the keys, then you start the process, and it can take a month or 2 or 3 to even find the right landscaper. Then it can take another 1 to 3 months to get a permit, and then it's going to take another 4 to 6 months to build. So from the minute you get keys to having a complete backyard and house might take over a year. So timing, managing all those lead times is really, really important. I only know this because we've done so many forever homes already, so I just wanted to pass that on to you guys, because some of you guys might be asking, why don't we submit permits before escrow closes or whatever? You actually can't. You need the house to be in your name to submit a permit to the city to get everything approved. So yeah, hopefully you guys got a lot of insight and was able to kind of see what it's like to get a bunch of bids and see the different styles of pools being built out there. Let me know in the comments below what other parts of our home building process you would like us to share, and we'll share it in the next video. Peace!